liberty, and justice for all. You guys get a chance to look over the minutes from our last meeting?
I did.
Changes, corrections, additions?
Everything looked good to me.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes as presented.
And I'll vote yes.
Second.
Second,
Yeah, I'll
sorry.
vote yes. All right, how about our financial statement? You guys have a chance to look that over?
Same. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Anything out of the ordinary we need to know about this, Nancy, or it's just?
No. I'll make a motion, we accept the financial as presented.
And I'll second.
I vote yes. Communications.
The Portage County Regional Planning Commission sent a replat of a subdivision known as the replat of sublots 38, 39 in the third Kirkbride second edition on Willis Drive, Eddy Lane, Lot 3 in Deerfield Township for approval, disapproval, or conditional approval. And that's in the things to be signed after reading. The Board of Elections sent a letter informing Deerfield Township Town Hall will not be needed as a polling election for the upcoming special election that was scheduled August 4th, 2020. However, they do still need the hall reserved for use on November 3rd, 2020 for the general election. Faye Nicholson sent an update of Deerfield's self-response rate for the 2020 census. Ohio's self-response rate is 64.4%, and Deerfield's response rate is 56.2%. The census determines how much money the local governments will receive in the future, so they encourage that all the residents complete that. The United States Census 2020 sent their 2020 census response rate challenge toolkit. The OTARMA sent an infectious disease outbreak response checklist to follow as a guide for reopening the Township Town Hall as COVID-19 related restrictions are lifted. Burnham and Flower sent us a webinar series available on demand intended to provide an overview of the wide-ranging and unique issues employers may encounter during the return to work process, including continued compliance with the Families First, Coronavirus Response Act, wage and hour, ADA, and workplace discrimination considerations, and employee benefits administration matters. ODOT sent their traffic operations assessment systems tool conducted in 2019 that identified a 3.36 mile segment of State Route 14 just east of the Deerfield Circle, which results in an upcoming speed limit change along State Route 14 in the vicinity of the Deerfield Circle. The speed studies will result in the following approved speed limits in July of 2020. From a point 0.57 miles west of State Route 225 to State Route 225, an approved speed limit of approximately 50 miles per hour. From 225 to 0.3 miles south of 224, the approved speed limit will be 40 miles per hour. And 0.3 miles south of 224 to 0.03 miles east of Twin Oaks Drive will become 50 miles an hour. And Brad Crone sent their changes for the second half tax collection, which are as follows. They will remain closed to the public for tax payment purposes. Taxpayers are encouraged to pay by mail, use their drop boxes, or take advantage of electronic payment options. Cash is highly discouraged. Cashier's checks and money orders are encouraged to use when necessary. Proof of payment receipts will remain available. Taxpayers who wish to receive a payment verification must provide a self-addressed stamped envelope at the time of payment. New delinquent payment plans will be offered during this time by appointment only. Taxpayers and other interacting with the office must wear masks for their own safety and the safety of employees. Refusal to properly use a mask will terminate the transaction. Employees must wear masks as well as when interacting with members of the public under current orders from the Ohio Department of Health. And employees must also conduct daily wellness checks and record track results of those checks consistent with emergency management agency recommendations. And OTARMA sent notice they're having a free 1-hour teleconference on Tuesday, June 16th from 10 to 11 regarding the CARES Act funding for Ohio townships. Information center, that's all I have.
Anything additional, Mark?
No.
Randy?
No.
The only thing I do have, I'll add to that, I don't think we've got official notice yet, but they did a speed study in Watson Road where the ladies were complaining about cars going too fast and everything. There was not a speed limit on the road at that time, so it was 55 miles an hour. Portage County Engineer's Office did do a speed study. He's going to ask for 35 miles an hour, but he's sure we're going to make it a 45 mile an hour road. ODOT will have to approve that, so that'll be a done deal as soon as we get the letter from them that has happened. All right, fire department.
We went 230 for the year. Since the last meeting, we ran 53.
Since the last meeting, 50, you guys have been really busy, I know that.
And the last 72 hours, we probably ran 12,
Yeah.
15 of those.
You guys have been really busy. A little bit of everything too.
Yeah, it's everything. And a lot of serious stuff.
This morning and down the road here, was the guy okay?
Yes,
Oh,
he's homeless.
okay.
Good.
Joe.
He's still on his way. Was that guy in the
Yeah,
car?
we had surgery here a few months ago.
Yeah, I thought it was him.
Good deal. What else,
I
Brian?
think if you're marking on, we know what to do again. He's trying to push boat tows off onto us again. And we had to remind him that we aren't towing those.
Yeah, John is supposed to be listed on the Stark, or the Summit County, or the Portage County Sheriff, just in case they can't. He does not have a boat in the water yet, though.
John is not.
Does not.
Duke just didn't want to because he was on the leave to go to New Jersey.
Yeah, and I told him, so he called back and canceled the call.
Yeah.
It wasn't a boater under distress, it was just
Right now.
a boat distress. It was, he just stopped running.
Oh.
So I talked to Duke about it, he said he would make sure that in the future that would not happen again.
That's our annual review for our e-dispatches contract. It's $15.48 for the year. I turned in
I'll make a motion that we pay that.
Which one is this, the dispatch?
our e-dispatch that comes to our phones.
I'll second.
Yes.
And that letter will get me the information we need to our levies due in November. So we need to make sure we have all the work
Yes.
looked up and ready, and I believe we have to have it in 3 months before.
Okay, so, or is this just a renewal you're going with?
I mean, at least, that's some stuff we have to look into.
If you don't do a renewal, then you have to redo everything, right? Versus just throwing it back on, just a
If it goes on the ballot as a renewal, you get the same rate that you got that's on it now.
correct.
If you do a replacement renewal, if the taxes are higher, if your tax base is higher, then you would get the higher rate. But
Right.
at the same time, if it's lower, you get the lower.
You get the lower amount too.
That's where we're at, we need to look at that.
Quickly.
It's, who do we have to see?
We
have that on our calendar to do.
Okay.
yeah. So,
We got a month or so, but then we gotta make sure it's in time.
so we have to decide,
You have to decide, and
Whether it's a
now
replacement?
is a good time to decide. Do you want to put it on the levy in, it'll be November, but we have to have it in by August.
right,
So now would be a good time for you to decide, do you want to do that?
well, it's just which way, Brian, what do you think?
I mean, I don't have any of the number counting, we have to get to see if it would be an advantage to us of what the tax would pull. If it was gonna make any more money, I don't want to lose money, that's for sure.
My suggestion would be to put it on as a renewal.
Okay.
And get.
Historically, they pass almost every time a renewal,
Yes.
hardly
Right.
ever goes down, whereas a new levy, then you do have a chance, or even a replacement, Like Nancy said, we could get more, but we could also get less.
Or it might not pass.
Yeah, that's where you'd have to look into if it was gonna even pay for it.
I agree, I'd probably say the renewal is probably the simplest way for them to file too, right? Yeah, there's not a lot that they have to do.
Well, we still have to get what we have to go through the auditor's office for them to tell us how much it is, because that has to be filed with the Board of Elections along with our request.
So do we call Janet, or you guys gonna call Janet, or you guys will call Janet and get all that from her?
Well, if we can get that done, then what, by next meeting, then we can,
No, you can.
I'll make a motion tonight if we
You
get
can
it.
pass a resolution tonight to put it on the
Okay.
ballot
All right.
as a renewal.
resolution.
I'll make that motion that we have a resolution to do a replacement levy for the fire department.
Renewal,
Renewal.
levy, I second that.
Renewal, yes.
I'll second.
Okay.
We look and get the information so that we can start advertising, we're investing in our signs, I believe, for the fire department. What the levy is.
You mean how much? We'll get that from the auditor's office, she'll tell us that, but yes, we can ask for it now.
But I would have thought that the renewal would be the same thing it was the last time, correct? The exact
The
amount.
millage, yeah, the
Millage.
millage would amount to the same thing.
Right.
So you could bring in a different amount than last year, right?
I'm sorry.
You could bring in a different amount of money, so, right?
No?
Well,
Depending on what the property.
Depending on property valuations.
That's a replacement.
You'd still be going with the renewal, you'd still be going with the same thing that was on the last time, what it's on now.
I mean, you might jump up if there's some new construction, there's new houses, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You will get that increase in your from the taxes, but as far as doing a replacement, getting a higher percentage, no.
I believe TJ's still working on getting parts for any number of lights. The last time we talked, they weren't working still.
Why was I under the impression he was ordering something for that?
That's the last thing I heard too.
Originally it was a fuse, but they could no longer get that.
So they had to get a new junction or something out there.
Yeah. Something that they were replacing that they had to order. You can check them.
Yeah. That's all.
Okay.
Road department, just,
You want to do the letter? And we have to just send it.
yeah, I'll bring it up, so they know. We're gonna do some chipping and sealing, so I'd like to make a motion, I'm not making a motion now, but we need to make a motion to get our slag or number 8 gravel, limestone, whatever we're gonna use on hand, so we'll get to do that. But I don't know a dollar amount, so how do we do it, Nancy? Do I need to put a dollar amount, or can I put a ton amount, or?
You should have some kind of figure to say what it's gonna cost.
All right, we got time to do it. I'll get approximately what it's gonna cost before the next meeting then. But we gotta start getting our material in for our roads, for our chip and seal.
Which one are you planning?
Treasure back in behind there and that block back in there, after we get some repair work done on it.
I'd like to also discuss real quick as far as roads go. Back in the Twin Oaks area, not Twin Oaks, Treasure Boulevard area, most of that property is I think I even have a map, is owned by, Gary. He owns part of the road right now. Would like to purchase the rest of the road. He owns the biggest part of that road now. There would have to, and everybody that's beyond him already in their deed has an easement for that road. What he's putting forth is that he will take care of that other part of the road where the township would not have to. And that would no longer be a township road. It's a very small amount. I'll have to get you the exact address, but
We'll have to approach the county engineer about that. They have to do a study that comes totally out of their approval.
right, for them
We
to take,
can approach them
they
and tell them.
would, they would take over the rest of the road. So,
I know where it's at, and it's very short.
yeah,
Real short.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
Gary from Ravenna Marine. Yeah. All right, so we just need to get with the engineer and have them look at it, is that what it is, site plan type thing?
Yep.
Okay.
We have to have the highway number and everything for them to.
Huh?
Is he in Wagner?
No,
Gary from Wilburn?
yeah, you go down Wagner to the left, that road that goes to the left, very small road, and then it's right when you get to the curb where his house is at.
Yeah.
Well, he owns all sides of that road all the way back, and he owns the road from that point back. And there, what's
I
that?
think that's Wagner.
Nah,
Levy goes off to the right back.
I think that's Wagner Extension or something we call that.
Yeah.
it might be.
I do think that's like called like Wagner Extension or something.
I have the map in
Because
my
you go down
car.
there and it goes like this, but this goes right around here, then dead ends into the lake down there.
It'd just be one less road we have to solve to take care of.
And I
okay?
don't know about the Corps of Engineers, so they have to be involved in that because that abuts up against their property.
It doesn't, but up against the property.
It dead ends into the lake.
But he already owns that. Gary already owns from that point where our stop sign in Wagner comes out right here, and then the sign turns left. It's from the stop sign to the curve is what he's talking about. Once you get to the curve, that's him all
That
the
was
way.
basically a right of way of ours.
He owns that all the way down now. So it's just from that stop sign. I don't even know the middle, you know, how far it is.
Yeah, not very far. So, all right, we'll get with the engineer's office, see what they say. While we're on the roads, we sent the guys out to do some roadside mowing a couple weeks ago, and they did do some roadside mowing, and a lady had her lilac extending out into the roadside ditch, so our guy mowed it off. There's threats of lawsuit and all kinds of stuff now over a lilac bush, so we're gonna, I called our prosecutor, he sent in our revised code giving us the authority to maintain our roadways and our ditches and that type of thing. So we're gonna draft a letter to it that we're sorry they're upset about, there's a misunderstanding. However, we feel we're within our right to do that based on Ohio Revised Code, and Kristy's got the whole Ohio Revised Code section. We're gonna send to them and see what happens, since they have threatened a lawsuit against the township for mowing a lilac bush off. So, I don't really have anything else. Oh, we have our meeting. We have to schedule our next meeting. Prior to our meeting, we need to do a special meeting for our budget, right?
What are you gonna do about the second meeting of this month?
Are we gonna, do you guys want to have a special meeting this month, or we want to cancel like we have been, since the building's still basically shut down and everything?
I say cancel the next one, and we'll see what happens with the governor and how he opens up anything.
I'll make a motion that we cancel our second meeting in June. We'll keep our meeting, the first meeting in July, on the date that it normally would be, the second Monday, 6 p.m. Prior to a regular meeting, we will go over a budget appropriation, right? That's a short, sweet deal. It's only a few minutes, and we'll go right into our regular session from there. So we won't schedule it in early or anything. It'll take place prior to our regular meeting.
I'll second.
You guys will advertise that in the paper?
And I will say yes. Pardon?
Yeah. Good to go. Anything else? Anybody got anything? I'll make a motion to adjourn our meeting and pay our bills.
Second.
Yes.